It's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hi, villains, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. I'm just going to clean my camera there. I'm genuinely bait after that. That was a taxing 90 minutes. Oh my goodness! And Villa come out of it with a 1-1 draw. I am absolutely delighted. Do not let this exterior, this almost heart attack ridden exterior, fool you. I'm happy with a point. I think everybody needs to. Well, I won't say everybody needs to be. I won't tell anybody how to be a fan. But I'm happy with a point. Would have been absolutely thrilled to bits with 3 points, obviously. But it's that was tough going. It was tough slogging, tough sledding. Villa. I thought Villa's organization today was absolutely top notch. Thought it was great. I thought that this is the first game ever whereby we, when we looked leggy, I don't know, Unai Emery made substitutions at bang on the right time. Very unfortunate for Alex Moreno to get injured. How and when he did. By the way, what a saving header that was. What a saving header that was. Absolutely amazing. But Villa won, Liverpool won. I literally just jumped straight on after the we were watching it here on Premier Sports. I was watching it on No TV, and it's about 90 seconds behind. But I still haven't really actually sorted out the whole equilibrium after that because I was a bag of nerves when 10 minutes went up on the clock. I'm going to get your comments in a moment, but I just want to kind of talk myself through the calming down process here at the moment. But I think before the game, I said that I thought we would have to score 2 goals to win this game. And I do apologize. My camera is there we go. We'll try that. We'll see, does that work? There's it's much better. We would have to score 2 goals to win this game. And it turned out that was the case. We miss a penalty in the first half, and then 6 minutes later or 8 minutes later, we score a goal from a beauty of a cross, absolute beauty of a cross, and we go 1-0 up. And Aston Villa look every inch good for that 1-0 lead up until the 89th minute, and then Roberto Firmino comes off the bench, whatever, in the 70th minute, whatever it was, and he scores. I actually think it was like how he gets his foot to it, because he's both feet off the ground. He almost like just drop kicks the ball into the net. I think he has to get a lot of kudos for that. Albeit Jacob Ramsey played him on. I think fatigue. Jacob Ramsey done. I'm not digging him out. Thought he had a fine game. Scored a brilliant goal himself. I think fatigue kicked in. I think the fact that we had our right back playing over at left back at that stage. I think the fact that we had to bring in, that we were after bringing in Dendoncker and Duran as well. The line wasn't probably as solid as it should be, but it wasn't any of their fault. Liverpool get that goal, and I suppose the big thing from this as well, and may actually get lost in a lot of the conversation, is that this is still a very, very good result. I haven't looked at your comments, as I say. This is my mind unraveling in front of you guys. But I this is a really, really good result for Aston Villa. I know a lot of people were saying 1-1. We said before the game today, anything at Anfield today would be great. It would have been superb to get 3 points today, and Villa could play out a 0-0 draw against Brighton on the last day of the season, and potentially both teams would finish in 6th and 7th, and it would be fantastic. We get Europe. Now we've made it a bit more difficult for ourselves, conceding there, for obviously. So it's not the ideal result today, but it still gives us a massive, massive chance going in the last day of the season. Brighton will beat Southampton tomorrow. Brighton may very well get a point or 2 against, a point or 3. They can't get 2 points against Man City. A point or 3, should I say, against Man City. They may very well do that. We are waiting on Brighton's results to see what to see what the table actually looks like at the end of the season. But we will need to go and beat Brighton. We will need to now go and beat Brighton. And I think if you were to ask any of the hardest nosed Villa fans, I think we would have all said we would need to go and beat Brighton anyway. So disappointing we didn't get the 3 points today, but 1 point still keeps us. We're above Spurs. We have the same goal difference as them, and it gives us a chance. And remember that Ted Lasso believe meme that our gift that I've been sharing around the place. I'm still in that mood where belief is going to conquer all. It feels I'm torn between, does it feel like a kick in the nads? Does it feel like what we deserve from the game? And I don't really know. I don't think a 1-1 draw is what we deserve from the game today. I think we played better. I think we played well enough to win that game today. And I think we were undone by a moment that Liverpool fans will talk about, Firmino scoring in his last game. Specifically, if that point gets them into Europe, into the Champions League themselves, they will look back at that point as being the reason why. I wish I knew whether I was making sense or not. But a very, very emotional game. I mentioned about the penalty miss. Like, we made it difficult on ourselves from that point of view. I'm Ollie Watkins, cheerleader and so on, and you can't miss a penalty there. You can't. You can't put the penalty wide. Keeper saves it, grand. You can go back and say, "Oh, great save! Oh, great save!" You can always do that. But you can't put it wide. Can't put it wide. But great credit to the team. The team didn't let their heads drop. I don't think Watkins let his head drop either. I think he ran the channels brilliantly. I think he did some very good play, working open play. But Douglas Luiz for the goal that we scored. Number one, the fact that he was winning the ball back in the earlier phases, gets up to the edge of the area and clips in a beauty of a cross. And that finish from Jacob Ramsey was not easy. That was a difficult finish. I think it's difficult finish, and fair play to him, because he's come in off that wing. Tyrone Mings, I don't know, does he get a shout? But Tyrone Mings couldn't get to it anyway. That ball is dropping over Mings' head. He needs to be inch perfect with his side foot there, and he gets his foot to it. It goes in under Alisson Becker and into the back of the net, and 1-0 Aston Villa. For the penalty, just going back on it there as well, I'll get your guys' comments in a moment, but I think John McGinn did the right thing in holding on to the ball, making sure nobody could get around Watkins, making sure that things were slowed down a small bit for Watkins. They were looking at a VAR check and stuff like that. So if he was standing there with the ball on the spot waiting for things, people could come up to him. Ultimately, he still missed, but I like that from John McGinn. I like the fact that that shows leadership. And we spoke about this specifically after the Spurs game, that he's growing into that armband. That armband isn't tightening around his arm anymore. It's more of a badge of honor for him now than it was something that he felt he had to earn, and he certainly has. And I think little things like that. I thought he was immense today. I thought John McGinn was really good today. I thought Fabinho had Fabinho on toast for the first 30 minutes. Every time he broke, Fabinho was taking him down. It was. I thought John Brooks was pretty okay today. I know people are not going to agree with it. I think he was okay. I think he should have booked Fabinho. I think that the red card decision, it was right to check the red card decision against Mings. I think it could have been a red card, but the fact that it was a yellow card on the field, I think, was the reason why it stayed there, and I'm perfectly okay with that, considering that Diogo Jota kicks Longley into the head 2 weeks ago, and so on and so forth. And Dini getting kicked in the head, there wasn't even a foul previously. I think the on-field decision, I think that utilization of VAR in that instance there, whereby it wasn't a massively malicious follow through. Not that it matters whether it's massively malicious or not, but I think the fact that the yellow card was given in real time, I think you got to trust the referees in that. It wasn't an absolutely blatant, massive red card. I could have understood if the referee pulled out a red card straight away. I think VAR wouldn't have turned it over, and I could see why the referee would have pulled out a red card. That's what I'm getting at here. So I thought John Brooks was I thought he was okay today. I know we come on and we give out and we spit feathers at referees, and some of you guys may disagree with me, and I'm sure Paddy, if he's listening to it anyway, he will. He's probably going to disagree with me on that one. But I thought Brooks. I thought he reffed the game the same way from start to finish, and I think that's all we can really ask for. There was a contentious decision where Liverpool fans wanted a penalty where Jacob Ramsey it looked like he went through the back of Jordan Henderson in the penalty area. He waved it away. VAR looked at it. He didn't go. He stood his ground on that one. We've seen those given previously as well before, and I think Villa's penalty was a clear penalty. My only kind of gripe with him is I think Fabinho in the first 15 minutes had like 4 fouls or something like that. He probably should have been booked. But apart from that, I think the referee was pretty good today. Going back to McGinn, because I got sidetracked there on the McGinn stuff, I think McGinn was really good today as well, and Douglas Luiz, I think they were really good. I think of our 4 midfield players, probably Kamara in possession was somebody that once again, we have to watch it back. This is immediate reaction, so I could be talking on my hat here, but I felt it a couple of times that you could see that the injury and the ring rust was kind of there slightly, just from a passing point of view, but in his defensive positioning, I thought he was really good. Tyrone Mings was supreme today. Tyrone Mings and Ezri Konsa were very good today, I thought. Were really, really good today. Luke Dean was really good today. He was running out of steam in the second half. I could see why he came off as well. I thought in the first half he was very good. Tough gig to play against this Liverpool forward line. And same with Matty Cash. I feel that Luis Diaz wanted to get in behind him an awful lot because he knew that Bailey wasn't going to track back as much as I thought Bailey wasn't going to track back as much as he should. I thought Bailey did okay in defensive duties, but he was just I thought he was nullified in the attack, and when they took him off, it was the right substitution to make, bringing on Ashley Young and taking off Bailey. I think at that point in time. All in all, I think it was a really good performance. Martinez was really assured, bar that one where I think near the end he came for one and it just kind of came off his fingertips and it dropped, I think, to Harvey Elliott. But apart from that, I thought he was really, really assured. Dealt with anything he needed to. There was nothing he could do for the Gakpo goal as well. I don't think there was anything he could do for that. And I think they're kind of that's my 12-minute soliloquy on the game so far. I'm sure your comments remind me of one or two other things. As I say, it's been a while now since I've been flapped after a game as I have been after that game, because it was just ebb and flow. It was up and down. The emotions were high. And you can probably hear behind me, I'm going to have somebody jump into the podcast here. My daughter decided she was going to come in and give her 2 pence on it as well. But let's have a little look at some of your comments. Let's see here. Where are we? All right. Oh, there's tons of comments here. So Neil Taylor says, "Get in." Is that the real Neil Taylor? Is it? Philly D says, "I swear Philly are going to kill you." Dave says, "I'll take that. Would have took it before the game and at halftime. You just knew at some stage they would get one. Well done, the Villa, with Spurs result. That's very good." I agree with that, and I think the more I'm going to talk, the more I think that's where I'm going to come down on it, because it's the 89th minute thing that always makes me think, we got to be better in those situations. But Rome wasn't built in a day from that point of view, and it takes. And under Unai Emery, we've been pretty good in those situations, but Liverpool are no slouches. Like, if this was against, and I don't want to belittle any teams, but if this was against Southampton or this was against an Everton in the last minute, like Everton scoring in the 99th minute against Wolves, Yerry Mina scoring in the 99th minute, I think he'd be a lot more upset considering where those teams are in the league. But like Liverpool away from home, Liverpool playing at home, you're going to need to play to nearly the 100th minute in every single game that you play against them. And Firmino, as I say, brilliant run, gets in, and that finish, he just launched himself like a missile at it. If he misses that ball and hits Emi Martinez, he's getting a red card, like the way that he went in. But he gets the ball, doesn't, and it goes into the back of the net, and we're here with a 1-1 result. RA Venture says, "Not a bad point, but a bit gutted we couldn't see it out." That's kind of where I am as well. CC says, "I'm exhausted. So proud of the guys." I'm absolutely there as well from an emotional point of view. I'm definitely there. Philly D says, "I think we'd have won if Moreno hadn't got injured." If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, but I know what you're saying there with that, Philly. I know what you're saying. I think there was a concerted plan. The fact that Moreno and Moreno came on so early, I think there was a concerted plan at that stage, being 1-0, to go and attack them and hammer the hammer. Once again, my favorite phrase, hammer the hammer. But bring on Buendia. I'm going to be. I know I've said that like there's just a couple of things from Buendia today that specifically we were attacking at the very end. It was in injury time. We gotten up. Ball comes to Buendia on the edge of the area, and he tries a back heel to get it to an Aston Villa player. when I just like it just wasn't the right thing to do. Liverpool intercept the ball and then they come up the field. Then 30 seconds later, he's in the corner and he's trying to shepherd the ball out. Now, granted, he is only 5'6" and he's probably about what 10 stone soaking wet, and he's trying to hold the ball in our own corner. But then he tries to flick it through James Milner's legs. Little things like that elevated my heart level, I would say, about Buendia. But I could completely understand, and I could see the reason for bringing him on was obviously to move Ashley Young to left back and move him into midfield. So I could see the reasoning behind all those substitutions. It's just, as I say, some of his decisions in the field didn't make it easy for me. 10 minutes as well, guys. 10 minutes injury time. I don't know about that one. And O'Grady says the O'Grady's aren't happy. I can understand it. I could understand Liverpool fans not being happy with the referee's performance today. I could, but I think he's refed it from the same way from start to finish. And I think that Liverpool can feel aggrieved at the Mings red card, as I've said before. But I think we can feel aggrieved at the fact that Fabinho wasn't booked early doors, because all he did was kick people. All he did was kick John McGinn, should I say, really. And I know it's the yellow card versus a red card, and I know that we got the penalty, they didn't get the penalty, and I know all that stuff. But they got 10 minutes at the end of the game, and I feel aggrieved by the fact they got 10 minutes. So I think overall, it balanced itself out. I don't think, as I say, we've given out about referees before. I can see positive things he did for Aston Villa today. I can see negative things he did for Aston Villa today. I can see positive things he did for Liverpool today. I can see negative things he did for Liverpool today. I'm sure that there'll be a lot of other different opinions on it, but by no means was that the worst performance from a referee that I've ever seen. And I don't know whether that is the reason that the O'Grady's are unhappy. But I suppose really it's a blip in the road for Liverpool. Liverpool win today puts them really in the driving seat for that fourth place. So I can understand, just like I felt a small bit deflated after the game because we had 3 points in our grasp. I can understand the fact that Liverpool will be deflated as well, as with their fans. Where else are we? Kieran Walsh says worries about the injuries, but hell, they gave everything on the pitch, and I think it shows we're elite. And in no time at all, we'd be a big six side. Well done, Dina, too. In fairness, he was good. I thought so too. I thought Dina was very good in the game. And I thought, as I say, I think you could see that, regardless of him going down and jarring his back or whatever, you could see he was coming off soon anyway, because the plan was there. He didn't look too happy to be taken off. That's fine. I'm actually okay with that in a situation like this. I'm okay with that because he was playing well. Some of the times before we've seen players be taken off and not be happy. Maybe they deserve to be taken off, but I think there was a plan there, and I don't think there's any lasting issues there for Luca Dean. He may not be here next year. He may be here next year, but fair play to him. He had a great game today, and we're going to need him against Brighton at the weekend. We're going to need him against Brighton at the weekend. Where are we? Mike Warmbold says, to be fair, if you told me we'd have to play Young at left back for 30 minutes and we get a point, I'd call you a liar. It was 30 minutes as well, which was but I think he played well on both sides when he came in, and he took a bit of a clatter himself to the head too. I don't know. I can't remember seeing the replay of it, so I don't know how bad it was. But I remember people were the commentator was saying it was a head injury and he should stop it at the time as well. So I'm just going to scroll down through the comments here. Apologies if I miss anyone there. Owen Bradley. Effectively, it's still within our own hands. We will be the masters of our. If we don't beat Brighton, we won't be in Europe. If we beat Brighton, we will be in Europe. It's that simple. And who's to say that Leeds don't get a result at Spurs as well? Leeds will need a result after Everton drawing today. Leeds are going to need a result in the final day to stay up. Albeit I don't know what their game is this week, or who they're playing, or what they're doing, or anything. So if I can just fill time, and if my so where are we with the standings at the moment? And I don't have a producer. Yes, so Leeds are playing tomorrow on 31 points, Everton on 33 points. Leeds are going to need a result final day of the season regardless, to confirm staying up, or even to stay up regardless of what they get today as well. Generic Villa fan, thank you so much for that. Watkins ain't a penalty taker. Midfield were poor second half. Mings was out of his world. Bailey needs putting in a rocket to the moon. I can agree that Watkins ain't a penalty taker. Yeah, absolutely. I can agree. I don't know what his record is, but I remember him missing penalties in the past. And I think that's okay. And I think that, look, I wouldn't let, and look, once again, I've no problem saying that I have the pom-poms for Ali Watkins, because at the end of the day, we aren't in a position whereby we're fighting it out in the last day of the season to beat Brighton to get into Europe if it wasn't for Ali Watkins' great goal and scoring prowess this season. So we can't just tap dance on a fella now because he's missed a penalty. Yes, he should have scored it, and both things can be true in this instance. Like, I still think so the club and the manager knows we need another striker. I think the manager wants to play two forwards up front. And I think both can be true, that while Watkins up front in his own won't get us to where we want to go, that Watkins plus another striker up front may. And I'm a fan of Ollie Watkins. The work he does is fantastic. And as I say, we're where Wolves are if we don't have Ollie Watkins for that 10-game period or that 11-game period of good results that we had. And that's just it. And I suppose that's my thought process on that. He should have scored the penalty. And I wish he didn't take it. Who would you put in the comments there? Who would you guys have had take the penalty? Who would you guys, and don't say anybody else. Who on the field? Because I'm trying to think who on the field would be designated penalty taker in that situation. I'm actually going to scroll down to the very bottom there to get some of them. That's coming in for Douglas Louise. Yeah. I suppose so. Yeah. Ashley Young says really random reviews. Yeah. McGinn says Jason. Yeah. McGinn or Ramsey, Dougie, Emmy Martinez says, oh, imagine if Emmy Martinez came up and scored a penalty. Shithousery would be off the scale. Yeah. Leon Bailey says I might be wrong. Yeah, I think Louise or McGinn is what's coming in there. I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that is fair. I think that's fair. I thought McGinn was going to take it himself. But I know why he was there with the ball in his hand. He was doing that thing, of making sure no one could get around Ollie Watkins. But yeah, look, a missed penalty is a missed penalty, and we're never going to sit here and say that the missed penalty didn't do us any harm, because it obviously did in this game, because hypothetically we win 2-1 today. But then again, if we score that penalty, we don't get the chance then for Jacob Ramsey at the back post. So it's one of these things. But I do want, I don't feel as confident with Ollie Watkins taking penalties as I should do for a penalty taker with what we might need in the future. When we get a penalty, it should be Harry Kane-esque. It should be in the back of the net. There should be no questions on it. And that's not to say that I want Watkins dropped. That's not to say that I want Watkins sold. That's not what to say anything like that. I don't see him as being the penalty taker for the team. So that's my 2 cents on that one. I'm going to go back up towards a couple of comments there as well. Yeah, a couple of people, couple of the offsides ignored. A couple of you guys mentioned about the offsides ignored being an issue I think that's an issue with the rules of the game. As I say, that is an issue, and I was actually only having a discussion about it to say that and the often used line of what happens if somebody gets injured during the phase of play when somebody was offside, blah blah blah, blah and all that. But once again, it was kind of notable today as well that the offsides were they were waiting for the phase to finish before officiating the offside. And that's a post-season discussion, I think, for sure. I think it's definitely a post-season discussion. Hello, Neil, you flute watching the Clears pub in Kilkenny. Happy out with a job. You've warned Kilkenny running. You were only in Kilkenny 2 or 3 weeks ago as well, I remember. So there's fear of you down in Kilkenny again. I'd love to be in Kilkenny because it's lashing rain here, and I won't see a point in say until September the 9th in the Laughter Lounge in Dublin. And tickets available in the bio for this podcast here as well if you want to come and see us live. Where else are we there as well? Yeah, and Judge Fish, I think this is correct as well. The Brighton match is the most cup final of all the cup finals we have been playing. And you know what? I think when Amy Martinez said that we've got 7 cup finals, we've got 8 cup finals, or whatever it was, whatever that phrase was. Ultimately, you can only have 7 cup finals if the last one is going to be a cup final as well. So that's kind of where we wanted to be. That's kind of where we wanted to be. And I know somebody's going to go back and say, no, we could have won all 8 of those games and have our European position secured. Yeah. I know. But if you've 7 cup finals, then the last one needs to be a cup final as well. So that's where we are at the moment. And it's going to be an interesting week. Like, we've players injured again. Alex Moreno is going to be a huge loss. Not an unsurmountable loss, don't get me wrong. He may be back again. It may have just been a jarring of his hamstring. It looked bad. It looked like a bad tear, but who knows? Get in the old whatever needs to be done. Throw the holy water, start rubbing his legs and poaching. Get him to the witch doctor, whatever the hell you have to do. If he can get ready for the weekend, he's 1 game to play, and let's get ready for it. And while I don't see him there against Brighton, it's going to be interesting to see what comes out in the post-match about him and what the injury was, because fantastic player, being arguably one of the best January signings we've ever had. And it's a sad way to see somebody's season end with an injury like that after an absolutely miraculous saving header as well. So fair play to him. This is a good point as well. Ashley Hall said Villa had 66% pass accuracy today. I think it's an amazing result to get a point away at Liverpool, considering that. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I felt that our pass accuracy fell off an absolute cliff from about the 75th minute, maybe about the 70th minute, all the way through to the 10 minutes of extra time, of injury time. And I would like to see, I don't know, I think Who Scored allow you to do it, to scrub back on the timeline. I just want to see, maybe do my eyes deceive me, or do we have brutal pass accuracy throughout the whole way? But you're going to have that, I think, as well, when you're playing against a team that presses so high, and we were clearly playing on the counter-attack there, specifically after we got the goal. But yeah, as I said, the more I've been speaking today, and I'm 27 minutes on here, I'm happy with the 1-1 draw. I think you have to be happy with the 1-1 draw. It keeps it in our hands. It gives us that 1 point over Spurs. 3 points would have been absolutely glorious, and I would be here probably semi-naked at this moment if we won the game. So I can see everybody turning off with that mental image. Yeah, as I say, I think you're right with that. I think an amazing result to get a point away at Liverpool, all things considered, albeit we could have been better. We could have had 3 points. It would be nice to see it. Where are we here as well? So I'm beginning to run out of steam, and I haven't gotten a text from Paddy yet to say that he wants to jump on, although maybe I have. No, I haven't. Where else are we? Oh, Rod Humble, thank you so much, Rob. Thanks for doing these, Neil. Can't believe we're in a chance of European football going into the last game. Amazing. Yeah, that's another thing. I would be absolutely blown away if we weren't on BT Sports in that last day of the season, if we weren't on one of those channels, because I'd imagine they're going to have us, they're going to have Spurs, they're going to have, they're probably going to have, well, it's going to be interesting, actually, what they do with the relegation battle, because that being so tight as well. Maybe that's going to be interesting. What are they going to do with United? And last, let them worry about that. Let them create TV channels all they want. Hey, if we're not on TV, who cares? Sometimes you do better when we're not on TV anyway. So who cares about that? We let them worry about that. But a couple of you guys there saying that, yeah, and Saya, I think it's a great way to finish it up. 90 minutes from Europe, considering we didn't start the season until November. Superb. I think that's actually going to be my final monologue on this, is that we have had the most condensed of condensed seasons. And in this condensed of condensed season, we've seen people rise to the plate, and we're 1 game away from Europe. The people we've seen rise to the plate have been everyone. The majority of people in this squad. Unai Emery has brought in, he's brought in almost like a spiritual cleansing of this team, a mental cleansing of this team. Yes, we conceded a goal in the 89th minute, and we won't overlook that. But what he's brought into this team is a belief and a work ethic, and I know those two words always get tied together, probably too often, almost in a tropian kind of way. But he's brought in a work ethic and he's brought in a belief into this team. And as Simon says there as well, November was when we started. If we somehow manage to get Europe, it will go down as one of the greatest seasons. It'll go down as one of the greatest seasons in Villa's history. It'll probably go down one of the greatest Premier League seasons. There's no way you can overlook him for Europe if we overlook him from manager of the year if we get Europe. It would be abominable if we did, considering everything that went on from November to here. But we'll win. We need to win that game first, or we need to just better Spurs' result, I suppose, really, to be in with a chance of doing that. So I'm going to finish up on that, guys, as well. We're 90 minutes away from Europe. 90 minutes away from Europe. We would have ripped your hand off for this after losing to Man United. And I think that the players, it will not be lost on the players about that. It will not be lost. And what will come next week, and we could be dejected afterwards, or we could be elated afterwards. But I'm going to look forward to the build-up to this game over the course of this week. And you guys can be with us for the build-up as well, because going to do a couple of podcasts during the week, as I say. Obviously, we'll be back with our previews and stuff like that. We're going to look forward to this game. We're going to be looking at any of the transfer rumors as well, and going to be back on a more kind of scheduled basis like I was previously. But let's soak in this week. We have a cup final, as they said, at the end of the week, and that's all. That's what we can ask for. That's what we would have all asked for at the start of this game today. So we have it. So let's look forward to it. Let's embrace it. Let's throw positive energy out there all over the internet. Let's make sure our players know we're behind them, and everybody that's going to Villa Park next week. And I was supposed to be, but obviously I no longer can due to commitments here. Everybody who's going to Villa Park next week, make sure it's as good as it was against Spurs. 90 minutes from here we're 90 minutes from here to Europe. So thanks very much, everybody, for watching. Thanks very much, everybody, for listening. Sorry Paddy couldn't come on. I would have loved to hear his rant about 10 minutes as well. I saw one of his tweets at halftime to PGMOL once more. And I don't think Paddy's ever going to change, nor would we ever want him to change. But I'm going to get him back on maybe Monday when he's back home from his Jolly Bobs to have a word about this. So don't worry, you will get your Paddy's Pint podcast in this as well. But everybody, thanks so much for listening to me rant, rave, talk nonsense, try and figure out my own thoughts, try and cool down, try and get my heart rate down over the last 32 minutes. I appreciate absolutely every single one of you. Once again, I just want to say as well, if you've missed out that we're doing a live podcast in Ireland, in Dublin, on the 9th of September, there's a link in the bio here that you'll be able to buy a ticket for it as well. Ticket sales are going really well. We've got loads of guests, and over the course of the next week, we will be hopefully announcing all the rest of our guests as well. So hopefully you will be able to, you'll be keeping an eye out on Twitter for that, and we'd love to see you there too. So thanks very much, everybody. Great result for Aston Villa today. We're 90 minutes away from Europe. It's all within our hands, and that's all we can ask for. Stay safe, everybody. Stay healthy. And all that's left to say is up the Villa!